I know what you're thinking. You're like, where's Nay? Where's Nay? It's just an empty seat, man. What's going on? I'm here. Hold on. I'm just making some coffee. I forgot to make my coffee before the damn show. Hey, there go the alerts. Yay. Okay. Just have to excuse me, guys. I had a little bit of a problem this morning. I fell. I was outside hiking, and I fell over. I was fucking walking with my dog, and I hit some fucking slope, and I slipped down a little embankment, and my right foot went right underneath my left foot, knocked my left foot over, and I just fell, man. It's like leg sweep, man, just complete. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I fell in sugar sand. So I got powdery sand. I had just taken a shower. I had spent a half hour doing my beard. I did my hair. I was getting my mustache all perfect, right? Take the dog out for a walk, and boom, I fucking fall. I get sand, dirt all over my side, man. My elbow, fell on my arm, everything. Look at them fucking guns. What? 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 Nate's got guns, what? What is this? Right here. Remnants. Remnants. Remnants from my fall. Right there. All right, good morning, Debbie, Jay, Karsten, Connor, Steven. How are you guys? Yeah, I can't handle all of this fucking... I can't handle all of this support, man. Wow, all these people flooding in here to see me. I don't know what to do. Can't take it. I just feel so goddamn popular. I just feel so goddamn popular with my 16 viewers this morning. What is it, 10? 15? It's fluctuating. It's fluctuating on me. I see a 16. I see a 13. Dude. I don't know where my audience has gone, but we're going to have some serious words, man. You guys getting scared because fucking the goddamn judge is coming to town this afternoon? Worry about Arndt Raw, man. He's a good guy. It's because he makes your fucking penis shrivel up to the size of a piece of rice doesn't mean you can't watch the goddamn show. I don't understand why no one's here this morning. Oh, 19. Oh, 19. That's almost 20. Well, I like 19. I like 19. 19 is a good number. Evan, Debbie, J-Bone, Jonah, Justin, Karsten, Evan. When I have an appointment and you're on. Yeah, I know. Bro, I gotta tell you. What really sucks for me is when I go live and no one shows up to my show. And it makes me not want to do them anymore. And I don't see the numbers growing anymore. And I know I can make the numbers bigger. I know I can just switch over to Facebook and just broadcast to a single Facebook channel. I would blow that shit up. I know I could broadcast once a day or even once every few days. And then you guys would miss me and then you guys come flooding. But that's not what I do, man. And I'm here to smoke with you all. And I know that you guys are supposed to be regular smokers and you're supposed to smoke with me. So, I like, you know, I used to, it's just me, man. I know. This is my thing, though. I would call friends up when I was younger, you know, and I used to sell cannabis. I'd say, hey, man, you want to come over and get high? And they'd be like, yeah. And they'd come over. I'd wait for them. And then when we would sit down, we'd get high together. You know, because it was like a social thing, and it was fun to be together and to smoke. And I figured, you know, just about everybody on this podcast is a regular smoker. You don't have to be. You don't have to use cannabis at all. But I'm just saying, I figure most of you probably are. And it just hurts my feelings, man, when I'm getting... One of the biggest people I've ever had on the show is Arn Raw, man. I don't know if you guys realize how many millions of people have seen Arn Raw on YouTube. Um, you know, I don't even know how many subscribers he has on his channel. I've never looked. I'm gonna look right now. Um, but man, you know, when I got so many people on a first name basis in a personal level, the level that we operate at here on this show. Um, wow, he's got over a quarter. He's got almost a quarter million. He's got 249,000 subscribers on his channel. Guarantee you, he's got millions and millions of views, man. With a quarter of a million subscribers, I've only got 26,000 subscribers or 25. Well, I've got more, but they've deleted them. Guarantee I've got millions and millions and millions more views than YouTube would ever let you on. And they've tracked 6 or 7 million of them. I guarantee you I've had a lot more than that. I've had videos taken down that had, you know, 100,000 views on them. They take the views away when they take the video down. Hey, Sadie. Token Daily never emailed me, man. I emailed him and he never emailed me back. I was really sad about that, man. I figured I probably typed the email wrong, but he gave it to me and I didn't want to bother him. Yeah, never responded. I even sent the email to 2 different addresses because I wasn't sure which one it was. So it's like, is it tokenglx at Gmail or is it token daily glx? So I sent it to both. I didn't hear back. So, yeah. Arn Ra, though, he's here today. And Arn Ra is huge, man. He's huge. And anyway, the point I was making was, you know, right now I'm still just regular old Nays Garden, fucking trendy Nay, talking to y'all on a first name basis. And I got Arn Ra coming today. And what's to say that after Arn Ra, you know, I don't end up getting thousands of people that all of a sudden start coming to the show. And these shows start blowing up. And then I can't talk to you guys individually anymore. And I have to go to Super Chats or something. You guys have every opportunity right now to get in there, man. And this is the time, man. Before it blows up. And support and show me that you were there when I needed you. You know, that day that Arn Ra was coming, and you guys all knew it because I promoted it for a week, and you said, yeah, I think I'm going to avoid Trendy Nay during that whole interview thing because I just don't like seeing him flying so high, you know, so highfalutin and being so fantastic and so happy with everything. Fuck you. He's got 53 million views on YouTube, Eddie says. Arn Ra has 53 million views on YouTube, and he's coming to this show today at 1. And you're deciding right now that you don't like me because of this? Is that fucking weird? No, it's not weird because that's how humans are. They get jealous and they literally show their they show their colors. You know, you find out who your true friends are when you're down and when you're really up. That's when you find out who your real friends are. I've learned that over the years. I'm going up. You know, we're about to blow this shit up. And it's just sad that so many people are deciding to not take a part in it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do my thing. And a lot of you people that don't like me today, you'll be forgotten. I won't even know who the fuck you were. And I won't care to know who you fucking were at that point because you didn't stick with me and you didn't show up to the days when I was down. Or you didn't show up to the days like today when I was up really high. I'll remember you all. I know exactly who you all are. I've got a really good memory for y'all. And when you guys decide to not support me on shows, I know when you're not here. And I can see it. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, J-Bone. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. You know, there should be 100 people here right now. I definitely know of 100 people that watch my show regularly. They should be here because today's the day that Arn Ra is coming on the show. They should all be here getting hyped, celebrating this day. They don't want to be my friend. You know, it's okay. It's a fucking Friday. It's COVID. There's not a lot of people with jobs. You know, 50% of you have jobs, maybe. Most of you are probably home doing nothing right now, and you're trying to figure out some way you can avoid this show. Humans are amazing. It's just that loyalty, you'll really find out when you're doing really good or when you're doing really bad. As long as you're just bumbling along, oh, everybody wants to come hang out with you. Oh, but Arn Raw, guys with fucking 50 million views on YouTube, he's coming to do an interview on my show. And all of a sudden, where's all my friends at? Where's all my support? Where's the excitement that we're having Arn Raw on today? Where's all the stories? You guys went and checked out Arn Raw and you saw this, he said that. And you can't wait for me to ask him this or that or... Steve Running, you'll be here. Steve Running, Eddie Haynes. Good morning, Nancy. Hey, Ian starts with an F. J-Bone, Karsten. You know, you guys that show up to every fucking show, you guys mean so much to me. And I want you to know that. And when you guys show up on days when I'm doing really good or I have an interview, you know, and I'm really excited and I'm happy, that proves to me that you really do love me. You love me. You're going out of your way to be here to support me so I can just see that you're here. And man, I love you back. Blue. Let me guess, Billy's here. Billy! I'm homeschooling 2 kids and still have you in my ear. Aw, thank you, Billy. Love you, brother. Better play with our little guy here to make sure we don't have any technical issues today. There we go. So let's smoke. It's 4:20, 7:10. I know I missed it all. I really just wanted to say that when I come in here and there's not 100 people watching every show, at least, you know, it should be 500 really. I mean, why am I selling myself short? It hurts my feelings because I know there's at least 100 of you that are not watching right now that are literally doing nothing. You rewatch my live shows? Oh, when you miss them? Ah, cool, Sadie. Got my bag of candies here. Fucking giving up my cheats. My show is a part of your life. Well, you guys are a part of my life. And when y'all don't show up to one of my shows, it's like somebody's ripping part of my life away from me. You know? The guys that I treat with the highest regard on this show, the guys that I show the most attention to, where are they? Where's my friends at? Where's the people that I go out of my way for? You know, I've sent out over 100 free bottles of triage oil. Where are all those people at? Where are all the people that I've sent free triage oil to? Hey man, it's unconditional. I'm just making an observation here. You know, as you sit there reading your newspaper, eating your fucking eggs and bacon, rubbing my fucking pain oil onto your fucking whatever hurts, and you got your cell phone there. Oh, Nay went live. Fuck them. Thanks. Thanks for keeping it real. We'll see who shows up for the Arn Raw interview today. It won't matter because Arn Raw's name on its own will carry that video to thousands and thousands of people. And I don't need my own audience for this. All I'm saying is it would be a nice show of support from y'all. Tell your friends, share it in a large group, get some people here to smoke and celebrate this day. It's an incredible day. Everyone should be here because Arn Raw coming to Nay's Garden is going to fucking blow it up. I don't know if you guys realize that or not. It would be like if Jimmy Dore came on. And if Arn or Jimmy ever decides to mention my show on their show, dude, you cannot pay for promotion like that. You can't buy it. Word of mouth from a legitimate source is the highest form of promotion. And you guys will see. It'll blow up. And you guys may be here, you may not. One thing's for sure. You're going to see me all over the place. I'm going to be all over the goddamn internet. And you can either be like, man, I could be there right there with him. And he'd be my buddy too, because he knows me. Or, God, it used to be so cool when I used to hang out with that guy, and now he has no idea who the fuck I am. It can be either way. You want to build this ladder with me and climb to the top? Be on the rungs with me. Like Carson is sharing in a big group right now. Thank you. I'm here and I paid for my pain oil, says Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. Hey, S. Franco. What's up, buddy? Love that your name is in yellow. All right, Cyberstyle. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't just for all. Cheers, everybody. Thank you, all 23 of you, for being here. I really appreciate the ones that decide to stay. I really do. You guys are huge. Smoke rings, anyone? Richard, what's up, buddy? Debbie, I'm glad that pain oil is helping you. I sent 32 ounces to Jimmy Dore. I sent 16 ounces to Ron Placone. Ron Placone has not picked his up yet. I sent 2 ounces to Lee Camp with a t-shirt. Haven't heard back from Lee. And that's okay. You know, they don't have to get back with me. But I messaged them and said, hey, it's in the box. You guys can go pick it up. It's ready. I mean, a shout out on their show would be fucking amazing. I would love it if someone, you know, like Arn Ra or Jimmy Dore would say, hey, if you guys really want to learn about cannabis and you really want the honest to goodness truth on every subject, you're going to want to go check out Nay's Garden. If you're sick of people having an agenda, you're going to want to go check out Nay's Garden. You know, he's going to call out everything that he sees from every direction. It doesn't matter. You know, I love Matt Dillahunty. I would fucking love to have a beer with that motherfucker. He is awesome. He's a cool dude. I disagree with him on one thing, and I'm going to ask Arn Ra about that today. Matt Dillahunty believes that it's possible that Jesus existed because this guy Paul wrote an account where he says he met Jesus and he spoke to Jesus, or he met people who spoke to Jesus, something like that. One man's account. And I'm going to ask Arn Ra, is that legitimate? Is that okay for him to take one man's account? Because I could just say I ran into Bigfoot when I fell over in my woods. Hey man, you guys believe me that I told you I fucking fell over and landed on my ass today in the woods, right? You guys believe that story? Why? Couldn't that have just been complete bullshit? Couldn't I just made that whole story up just to get your sympathy or to get you to watch me with Arn today? Or, you know, was there any dirt on me really? I mean, I actually do have the evidence right here, but I got dirt all over my shoes from where I fucking fell. But that's not my point. My point is this: you guys took my word for it. So I could have just said, hey man, I was out in the woods with my dog and I fucking saw Bigfoot, man. And I know you guys aren't going to believe me, you know, but I fucking know what I saw, and I'm going to write it down so that Matt Dillahunty in 100 years or 200 years will read it and say, ah, see, Somebody wrote about this 200 years ago, so it must be true. I have a real problem. You trust me. And that trust it's earned and it's lost and it's regained over time. And I understand that. It's a constant process. You know, people think trust is this thing that once it's broken, you can't get it back or whatever. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. You know, how many times have you fucking dropped something and broke it? You know, you ever pick something up and accidentally dropped it and it fucking broke? Has that ever happened to you? Well, you're untrustworthy then. You can never be trusted again. That's stupid. The next time you pick up a glass or whatever it was, a bong or whatever it was that you broke, you're going to be more careful with it. Why? Because trust is something you build on, something you grow, and it breaks and you can rebuild it. And, you know, I understand that people have lost my trust over the years because of the way I've blocked people for certain things on this live show. Period. That's it. You blocked me for this. You blocked me for that. I fucking hate that guy. I watched him block somebody for this. I watched him block somebody for that. Blah, blah, blah. And yet, I totally understand it. I get it. You know, I don't see Graham Elwood doing that. I don't ever see Ron Placone doing that. I don't ever see Jimmy Dore doing that. I understand. It's repulsive. And when I say repulsive, I don't mean in a vulgar sense, but it could be. It's repulsive in opposite magnets that are pushing each other apart. And I understand that. But at the same time, like I said, if Jimmy Dore or Arn Ra is going to tell you to come see my show because you're only going to get the unfettered, the true, unfucking, unagended truth from me on every subject, if they were to actually tell you that, and you would come here, and you would be like, well, Nay said blah blah blah, and it didn't, and that wasn't true, and then I would have to be like, wow, hey man, I said blah blah blah, and it wasn't true. It happens all the time, and I have to apologize, and I have to tell you the truth and tell you what it really is, and say I made a mistake, and I have to try to build that trust back with you guys. That's our relationship. That's the way our relationship has always been. You know? But today's a huge day. And, you know, I expect my audience, my true audience, the people that love me, to really come out today in force and make this the big day that it deserves. You know, you can disagree with Arn Ra all you want, but you're going to have a hard time proving him wrong on anything. You know, you can disagree. But you just try to prove him wrong on something. You guys are going to love this guy. If you've never experienced Arn Ra before, if you've never listened to him, man, you guys are in for such a show. You guys are in for such a personality. And let me tell you something. I watch him when he does his, you know, I've watched, especially recently, you know, I've been watching a lot of his public speaking. He's a great public speaker. And he made this comment. I just got to break off here for a second. He made this comment. He's like, 5 minutes left. He's like, well, I'm not going to talk any faster. He said, you're just going to have to try to come up here and pull me off the stage. And I thought to myself, being the fact that this guy, I don't know how big he is, but I think he's like 6'4", 250, something like that, that he makes jokes and comments like that. Nobody would try to fucking take him off a stage. I mean, just based on the fact that he's making sense and everyone wants to hear what he has to say, yes. The fact that he's fucking this monstrous, imposing looking figure with long hair and a Fu Manchu, and he's big and he's smart. He is like a fucking quadruple, quintuple, sextuple fucking threat. You know, he's got so much going on for him, and this is great because I'd rather talk about this now when he's not on, when he's not here. He's like a walking, talking encyclopedia dictionary. And you guys might think to yourselves, let me just turn the volume off. I'm getting a lot of bing bings for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but let me turn the volume down. Okay, there we go. Love Jazz says, "Yo, Nay, I miss you." Why do you miss me? Why don't you just come to my show? If you miss me, why don't you just come to the show? You know where it is. The thing about Arn Ra is he'll be standing there, whether he's in a debate or he's on a podium talking to, 30 or 100 people, and he'll use a word, or the other person in the debate will use a word, and he won't even look up in his brain. He will just keep looking forward and recite the fucking definition of the word. I swear, I thought he was like typing definitions in to a screen or something. I'm almost 99.9% positive that he's got just definitions to words, like entire definitions to words, not like a synonym to a word, like another word that means the same. He knows the entire definition of fucking words, man. And I'm not saying he knows the whole dictionary, but the words that he uses and that he has to use often, and when he needs that fucking arrow in his, Jimmy Dore's gonna love this, quiver. And let me just tell you something, Jimmy. It's a common term, okay? It's not just the wealthy that say, pull an arrow from my quiver. Robin Hood pulled arrows from his quiver, and he was stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. It had nothing to do with wealth. Just so Jimmy knows, it wasn't Jimmy Dore, it's not a wealth word, quiver. It was just a word he wasn't familiar with for some reason. But definitely one of the arrows in my quiver, right? And it would be one in his too, is to know the definitions of words, the definitions of, or the meaning of an entire science. Oh, well, this science is the study of blah, 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 blah. What? I don't know that. How does he remember all of that? So you've got this giant, intimidating, he's got charisma, he's fucking cool as shit. He has just got so many things going for him, and he brings them all to the table. He sits them down in front of his opponent's faces, and I just can't believe that they even try to even have a conversation with him, because they never make sense. No one he ever talks to makes any sense at all, because every time they say something, he explains why what they just said makes no sense, and then he lets them continue. And then he's like, oh, what you just said there, that doesn't make any sense either. And this is why. And these are the reasons why. Oh, and that word I just used, here's the definition to it. You know how intimidating that is when you're walking into a debate and the person that you're debating knows the answers to everything? I couldn't debate. I mean, maybe I could debate him on cannabis. I don't know. Maybe I could take him on cannabis, What you know about cannabis, bro? You down with the CA, yo? What's up? You down with the buds, bro? You down with the buds, bro? You think Aaron's down with the buds, bro? Yeah, bro. He's talking about buds, bro. Get out of here, bro. Good morning, Shelly. Yeah. So, when you guys are watching Arn Ra, whether he's doing a public, and I want you to watch both, him speaking in public, behind a podium, him debating someone in their face in the street, one of my favorites. Hey, maybe we should watch one of those. Let's watch Arn Ra debate someone in the street. What do you guys think? It'll be fun. Because we wouldn't be able to do that while we're interviewing him this afternoon. And I should probably lay off my voice, Let's find a video. God, he's a big dude, man. Holy shit. Videos. Dude, he's got this giant dog, too. So, since the whole COVID thing, Arn's moved to Zoom type chats and things like that. So he's not out in the street anymore, but let's go back 8 months. Okay, here we're gonna find him out in the street here. 8 months back. That was before COVID. Dude, he's put up so many videos. Oh my god. Arn Ra in the street. Arn Ra in the street's my favorite Arn Ra. Dude, there's so many videos. So many moments. Two years ago. Jeez, it's been a while since he's put one up like that. Reasoning with Son of Holine. I think here's a good one. Here's one. We'll try this one first. This is one of the latest ones. What did happen? I just lost my goddamn chat.
Wanted to argue with when we finally found a place you could actually do that, the overlap.
Fade to grab. They're not related.
He says, well, I got to go to this one.
One is my YouTube channel, the other one is the company, right?
All right.
The worst
That I'm
part,
advertising.
and actually the best thing I did today and the worst thing I did today at the same time. I was talking to
All right, cool. I got
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, fellow wonderful sir.
He's losing a lot of friends, I think. So,
And Mark is here.
I only like sincere, genuine people. So,
I met him before, but
So anyway, I was eating a couple of Ray Comfort supporters.
right.
And then right after I'd spit them out, some little girl about this big comes up and hands me a DVD. And I said, what's on the DVD? She goes, Jesus. She said, I only accept what we can show to be true. She goes, this is true. And I said, if you can't show that it's true, it's not. And she
Dude, I
walked
lost
away
my chat.
But I also think
Aaron.
that was an
Lost my chat.
inoculation.
My stream's down. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if you guys are still there.
Truth will set you free. The person pissed you off because truth hurts. So there's such a thing as truth. You have some.
I think restream servers are
You
down.
just don't play that same stupid game like you learn. That's absolutes. Although I didn't say absolutely because that's what I said was absolutely.
Okay, that's not legible. We're gonna move on to something else. Here, I'll find a better thing. Arn Ra in the street. He's done so much work, it's crazy. Covered Standing Rock. He covered PragerU. I love it. Oh man, I want to watch that. You guys, oh, we should watch that, man. Let's watch him talk about PragerU. I'm sorry. I know I want to watch him debating. I hope you guys are live with me. I don't know. Message me on Twitter if we're still live, guys. I'm sorry, the chat has broken down.
Recently, someone sent me a clip asking me to do another video on Dennis Prager. Prager had already been on my radar for a number of things that he said about religion or against science, but now I get to listen to his irrational demonization of the left. So this video will talk about politics.
Oh, there's the
I can't
chat's
avoid
back.
it.
Chat's back.
Since I announced my candidacy to run for Texas State Senate in a heavily right-wing religious Republican district, I kind of have to deal with slurs like this.
I can agree with a liberal. I
Eddie,
can't
thank
agree with a
you.
leftist.
Thank you for the text on
I
Twitter.
make the distinction between liberal and left constantly because it needs to be made. The left is an enemy of liberalism, and I love liberalism. I'm called a conservative, but the irony is I don't know pretty much of any value that I changed since I was a liberal.
This is the most accepted depiction of the political compass, at least here in the U.S. The colors and categories may be different in Europe or Australia. It's not a perfect chart, to be sure. I mean, don't ask me why activists is in the middle or moderate position economically. I think we're using different definitions since activists, in my experience, tend to be on the extremes. These extremes represent degrees of balance between capitalism and socialism horizontally and vertically between authoritarianism and anarchy. And notice that liberalism is shown on the axis, dead center of the compass. Seems that the libtards are actually moderates, as moderate as you can get. But let's say you were a liberal since way back and you never changed. Over the course of our lives, both Republicans and Democrats have shifted further and further to the right. That's the Bushes, the Clintons, Obama, and Trump. They're all on the right. So that the liberals are now on the left relative to everyone else. And that's why every liberal I've ever met identifies as a leftist. And everyone who hates liberals complains that they're leftists. Likewise, progressivism is shown here on the right, referring to the progressive era of the early 20th century. But those who identify as progressive today, myself included, are actually on the left, along with at least half of America's working people, by the way. Both liberal and progressive are contested concepts, but I think modern progressives have a different definition than the progressive movement from a century ago, and so this chart should probably be updated accordingly.
Well, I knew I was not on the left when, during the Vietnam War, which I was in college, and I knew communism was evil, and my life is devoted to fighting evil. That's what I care about more than anything. I hate people who hurt people deliberately. I hate them. I want them destroyed. I want evil destroyed.
So you want to destroy them deliberately? Or because you hate people who hurt people deliberately, do you want to destroy them and make it look like an accident?
I have not wavered in that passion since high school. That's all I really, I care about a million things, but that's my greatest care. I want to destroy evil. Nazism, communism, Islamism, you name it. And the left didn't. The left hated Nazis, but they didn't hate communists. So it meant they didn't hate evil. And that's my first realization that I wasn't on the left.
So we both see Nazis as hateful racists and therefore evil. And they're exclusively right-wing, by the way. Their party once had the word socialist in their name, but they're not actually socialists. They're fascists. Fascists are on the right. Racism is sometimes classified on right-wing too. Communists and socialists, which are not the same thing, are on the left, the very far left. You can be on the left and not be a communist or socialist. I happen to know a communist once. She grew up in the Soviet Union and believed that communism was a political ideal of mutual cooperation for the benefit of all mankind. And she knows it didn't work out that way, but she didn't think it was evil. And she wasn't evil either. But then, communism isn't based on hatred, like Nazism is. Now, if some educated political science major in college understands the difference between communism as a political ideal and its consistent failure in every application in corrupt human society, then you think that student doesn't hate evil just because he understands it better than you do? I understand that distinction, and I'm on the left, and I hate evil too. Well, I don't really hate anything, but I do object to evil. I'm just better reasoned at it than you are, looking at specifics instead of prejudiced generalizations. I also define evil differently than you do. It's not just anyone who thinks differently than me. Evil is lies and violence, selfishness, cruelty, and apathy, taking advantage of others to their detriment and against their preference. You, Dennis Prager, are evil whenever you spread misinformation, misleading people with your deceptive videos. For example,
secular humanism devalues the worth of humans.
That was a lie, Mr. Prager, and we're going to talk about that real soon, but not in this video. Unlike you, I do not judge people by deciding to hate anyone who doesn't hate the same things I hate. There's a lot of hate in you, and since I don't have that and wouldn't trust it if I did, then I need data to determine my political alignment. Now, people have always accused me of being a leftist all my life, probably because I was never a bigoted dick to people like right-wingers typically are, and as you have just demonstrated. But I didn't really know where I am on the political compass until I took a test to find out. I don't know how reliable that is, but how else would I know? How can I find out? So I took a few different ones and compared them.
I just got to pause and say, Eddie, I know his humor he's not a comedian, but he knows what's funny. His delivery is cold. Okay, his timing is off, but his jokes supersede all of that. And you're right. When you listen to him and he makes a joke, if you're paying attention, you'll laugh your ass off, man, because he's fucking funny.
I'll include the links below if you want to try it yourself. All of them had different questions, and they all put me right about here, where Noam Chomsky is. You know, that enemy of liberalism.
Interesting.
That's not the middle. That's left of center. So regardless what irrational prejudice anyone has against the left, I have to say that I'm on the left because that's what the test indicates. But notice that it's not all the way on the extreme left. When I took these tests, I didn't know where I'd end up. I mean, I didn't think I'd quite be socialist, but I do think that we should have at least as much access to health care as any other country, since we are the only developed nation that doesn't offer that to all of our citizens as a right, and it's kind of embarrassing to be behind other countries in something like that. Instead, we have runaway capitalism here, which is why Americans pay more for prescriptions than other countries, too. But while one of these tests said that I lean socialist on some issues, none of them said that I was socialist, because I lean capitalist on other things, just like everyone else does. But you know what none of these tests ever said? They never said I was an enemy of liberalism. And you know...
Karsten, did you just say that Arn Ra is a gentle-looking man? Dude, Arn Ra looks like the fucking overlord of a goddamn master race of fucking aliens that came here to dominate humans. Are you fucking kidding me? He's gentle looking? Dude, he's one of the most intimidating looking people I've ever seen in my entire life. And he's not even trying. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't make sense.
You know why they didn't say that? Because I'm not. Because you're full of shit.
So, but I still thought I was a liberal, but not on the left. And then Ronald Reagan came, and in one sentence, it all turned for me. And then I became a Republican. And that was...
Here, let me put it to you this way. You break into someone's home. You're stealing their stuff, and then from out of the back room, Arn Ra comes out. Do you think he's gentle looking?
Government is not the solution, it's the problem.
Well, that was certainly true in Reagan's day, and it's never been more true than it is right now. But that's also why you shouldn't be a Republican, isn't it?
And that was an epiphany. And I thought, that's right. There are truths that are so real that if you have an open mind, it doesn't take more than 5 seconds to realize it.
And then there are faulty conclusions like this that you shouldn't have jumped to. It's an unsupported assumption that you should have questioned at some point since then, but somehow you never did. I remind you of what Noam Chomsky, that other lefty like me, had to say about that. There is only one party in the United States, the Property Party, and it has two right wings, Republicans and Democrats. So if you want to get away from the corporatists, vote left. Being opposed to corporatism, as Thomas Jefferson was also, forces me to be on the left, on the side of the people instead of the...
Now, this was done when? 2017, right? Doesn't apply. That what he just said doesn't apply anymore. The Democrats, the left, is just as corporate as the right, and this has been happening, but Arn hasn't picked up on it. We should probably discuss that with him, and maybe turn him on to Graham Elwood and Jimmy Dore and Lee Camp. Just for that one point. It's interesting, isn't it?
The side of the banks and corporations and plutocrats. Being on the left doesn't mean we're evil. It doesn't mean we're enemies of anyone. It means that we care more about society as a whole than we do about the wealthy.
And let me tell you something. You know, Arn Ra is probably right, and I'm wrong here in that the people who are calling themselves Democrats right now that are run in our government right now, they're not liberal. They're fucking Republicans in disguise. So, you know, if they were liberal, they wouldn't be supporting corporations. They would be supporting the people, but they're not. Nancy Pelosi is not, and none of the other ones are either. So, you know, he might actually be 100% right, and I'm 100% wrong, because those motherfuckers are liars.
Are contributing to the power of corporations who are trying to supplant our democratic republic with a plutocratic oligarchy.
But the home for classical liberalism is the Republican Party, to the extent that they're not big government people, which George W. Bush was, for example. But the only home between Democrats and Republicans for limited government people is the Republican Party.
Except that I meet the definition of classical liberalism, even according to Conservapedia. But I'm nowhere near Republican. I'm on the left. And here I am pointing out that I actually want less government than the folks on the right. Because now you've switched axes. Now you're not talking about the left versus right anymore. Now you're talking about authoritarians versus anti-authoritarians. I don't mean libertarianism. That's listed here as an exclusively right-wing political party. I'm talking about the half of the political spectrum that is opposed to authoritarian regimes like the last several presidents have all been. How are you going to achieve less government if you only vote for right-wing authoritarians who want to govern absolutely everything, even what happens in your bedroom or who you are allowed to marry? My wife, for example, is half Vietnamese. In the 1960s, when I was a little boy, the marriage I have now would have been illegal because people on the right took that right away because that's what they do. And the people on the left had to give us back that right because that's what we do.
Dude, you have to agree with every single thing that Arn Ross says. It's very little opinion. It's almost all 100% fact. You know, it sounds like opinion because he states facts passionately. It's all factual, man. Listen to what he's saying. He's just telling you facts all the time. So if you find yourself agreeing a lot with Arn Ra, Damon, I'm concerned for you because you should be agreeing with every fucking word out of his mouth without even thinking about it. Every single fucking thing he says is the truth, bro. You find yourself agreeing a lot. It's just a funny way to put it.
And notice that the Republican Party doesn't own the right wing. I should also mention that only a minority of them match your description. There is no between the Republicans and Democrats either. The establishment elite of both parties are on the same side. The quadrant for more government, not less. Whereas I suspect most Democrats, at least the New Democrats, the Justice Democrats certainly, and nearly all of the independents of every stripe are on the side wanting less government. Or at least most of them are on the left. But it's interesting that you said that you can't agree with someone on the left. Yet you and I agree that we both want to destroy evil, and we both want less government than we have, less government than you voted for.
I was as anti-Trump as anyone, but I wrote...
And let me tell you all something. My mother met this man. She watched him speak. She thought he was awesome. I said, that Prager, I said, he's a son of a bitch. He's a piece of garbage. And he's an... I told her, you know, no offense to my Trump supporting friends, but the conversation between me and my mom, he's an avid Trump supporter. And she was like, what? I was like, you have no idea, Mom.
Wrote from my first column, if he wins the nomination, I will vote for him. And my thinking was clear, and in retrospect was clear. I kept giving this analogy.
Right on, David.
If you have two doors, over one door it says man-eating lion, and over the other it says maybe a man-eating lion. I will open the maybe a man-eating lion door.
But that's not what you did. Exactly the opposite happened. You voted for the man-eating lion, the one candidate of the four who actually promised to take people's rights away and ruin everything for everybody. You didn't want to vote for Hillary because of your irrational hatred and misunderstanding of the left, but she's at least as far right as Trump is. She's essentially a moderate Republican. So out of blind fear of what you thought was the left, you overlooked the only qualified candidate.
And now going back to what I said where I tried to call Arn out on something and I was totally wrong. He's saying exactly what I corrected myself with. These people are not liberals. Hillary Clinton is not a fucking liberal. She's a goddamn Republican. She supports corporations, and every other goddamn politician sitting up in Washington supports corporations. And if you find a politician out there who fucking doesn't support politicians, doesn't support corporations, I guarantee you're gonna find a politician who gets ignored.
Elected a fascist instead, the very thing you said you hate. You're supposed to destroy fascism, not equip it with tyrannical power and nuclear weapons.
Defeating the left is as great a moral urgency as defeating Islamism. Those are the two enemies of Western civilization as we know it.
The greatest threat to Western civilization got your vote and is now in the Oval Office signing executive orders to destroy the environment, the economy, and education, reversing progress everywhere, ruining everything for everyone, and even provoking China.
Whoa. Dude. That is a vicious attack on Donald Trump. I love it. We have to hear that over and over again, I'm afraid.
Civilization got your vote and is now in the Oval Office signing executive orders to destroy the environment, the economy, and education, reversing progress everywhere, ruining everything for everyone, and even provoking China. You've elected a narcissistic, incompetent madman. Good job.
Those are the two enemies of Western civilization as we know it.
The greatest threat to Western civilization got your vote and is now in the Oval Office signing executive orders to destroy the environment, the economy, and education, reversing progress everywhere, ruining everything for everyone, and even provoking China. You've elected a narcissistic, incompetent madman. Good job.
But I mean it sincerely. Look at what they're doing to the university. The university is now becoming a fascistic place. Literally.
You know you just can't say that shit better.
Quasi-violent suppression
Nobody
of
could have said
dissenting
that better.
voices. And the reason, it is the only place the left runs without opposition. So when the left is
guys wanna
free
hear-
to
I
do
wanna
what
hear
it
it again.
wants, just look at your local university.
I want to hear it again.
And you see what's happening.
Nuclear weapons.
Defeating the left is as great a moral urgency
No longer
as
got any
defeating
cannabis.
Islamism.
Cannabis isn't just for all. Cheers, everybody.
Those are the two enemies of Western civilization as we know it.
The greatest threat to Western civilization got your vote and is now in the Oval Office signing executive orders to destroy the environment, the economy, and education, reversing progress everywhere, ruining everything for everyone, and even provoking China. You've elected a narcissistic, incompetent madman. Good job.
But I mean it sincerely. Look at what they're doing to the university. The university is now becoming a fascistic place. Literally. With the quasi-violent suppression of dissenting voices. And the reason, it is the only place the left runs without opposition. So when the left is free to do what it wants, just look at your local university and you see what's happening.
I don't know what your experience with universities is. Is it that you can't defend your position very well? That's what I would suspect. I don't know. I mean, I know there are some extreme leftists in universities at the moment that I have conflicts with too, because the world is more complicated than black or white, left or right. But you're saying that when you allow the left to do what it wants, that they'll become fascists? That the extreme left will suddenly flip to become the extreme right? Remember Noam Chomsky, right where I am in the political spectrum? He said that if we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. I agree with that. And so does every leftist I know. So when you spread your prejudice with generalizations like you just did, you have to remember people like me and him, because your pejoratives do not apply to the majority of people beneath your broad brush.
Let me tell you something. That quote is so important right there. This is what we're always talking about on this show, guys. If we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. When he was talking earlier about when Dennis Prager was saying we need to get rid of the communists, we need to get rid of the Nazis, we need to get rid of the blah blah, we need to get rid of the blah blah blah. That's Nazi talk. Dennis Prager is literally Nazi talk. And everyone that you've ever seen on PragerU is Nazi talk. Ben Shapiro, oh yeah, Candace Owens, oh yeah, Nazi talk. And it's all based off of Dennis Prager. You guys need to realize this. You have to be willing to listen to everyone. And what's fucking crazy is, out of the other sides of their mouths, Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and the rest of those motherfuckers are screaming cancel culture. Cancel culture. Oh, you're trying to cancel us. Cancel culture. You're trying to cancel us. But their Lord and Savior, Dennis Prager, is out there saying, we need to do away with the socialists. We need to do away with the communists. We need to do away with the liberals. We need to destroy them. Oh, but I would never want to hurt anybody. What? Literally in the same breath, he did that before. That's why I've asked all of you guys to wear that avatar of Julian Assange on your social media pages, and to change your face, hey Josh, and change your face with the face of Julian Assange, because if we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. And if you despise Julian Assange, you should still be putting his face up there because of that quote from Noam Chomsky. Because your voice is the next voice to be silenced. Billy and Steven, who love their free speech, but won't put Julian Assange's face up. I've heard your excuses. This is more important than anything. This is more important than anything. When they take away your ability to do that, you're going to fucking wish you changed your avatar to Julian Assange. Man, that's all I had to do is just fucking change my avatar to Julian Assange to get more people involved in that movement. Get more people to listen. Get more people to listen to Noam Chomsky. Get more people to listen to Arn Ra. Get more people to listen to me. We're all saying the same thing, man. Hey, man, you got to be able to listen to everybody, but you got to be willing to fucking be a little uncomfortable to support it. Be a little uncomfortable. Put yourselves out a little bit. Your freedom of speech is worth it. I think that's a very important point. And we're going to have Arn Ra on live today at 1 o'clock, and you guys can listen to him talk about all kinds of stuff. We're going to get into it. So make sure you show up today at 1 o'clock. That's in 5 hours from now. We're going to be here with Arn Ra. It's fucking exciting.
The left does not divide the world between good and bad. I do, but the left doesn't. The left divides it between rich and poor, and strong and weak. Or victim and victimizer. Mm-hmm. So you don't get your strength from being right. You get your strength from being a victim.
I've always been on the left, yet as far as I know, I've never been a victim. Never felt like one anyway. All my strength comes from being right, as in getting my facts straight so that I'm correct. It's a good way to be. You should try it sometime. But you hate the left because you think they don't judge people according to the same false dichotomies as you do? The first problem with that is that it's not true, I'm sorry to say. There are those on the left, just as there are plenty on the right, who will dismiss every potential ally over one difference of opinion, even if it's irrelevant to the issue at hand. And the problem with that is the problem you have. It's a character flaw. Nobody is good or bad. Everyone is milling about somewhere in the middle. You see, I believe in the bell curve, where the vast majority are somewhere between these extremes, and that it is virtually impossible to be on either one extreme or the other. And don't put them into an either-or box when it's not a dichotomy. Every capitalist believes in social programs, and every socialist is happy with trade based on currency. If you think that some form of government is necessary or has some job to do for its citizens, that doesn't mean that you worship the state. And if you say you want less government, it doesn't mean you want anarchy. We all want...
I can't hear a word he's saying right now because all I'm thinking is, what kind of hairspray does he use?
A balance somewhere between these four. So stop looking only at the opposite extremes, because it's not that simple. And likewise, before anybody brings it up, Feminists often admit to having some sexist attitudes, and anti-feminists endorse some degree of gender equality because no one is completely one side or the other. So these are not dichotomies, as I've said so many times before. They're extremes, and we exist in a balance between them. The dividing line actually runs through the middle, where most of us are gathered pretty close together.
By the way, one of the things, because I studied
looks at the
leftism,
video.
that was my, I studied communist affairs, Marx,
That's one thing I
leftism.
want to say.
And one of the things that they have always excelled at is,
Dude, did you just see the expression on his face? Oh my god, dude. He is so fucking funny. Listen, if you guys walked out on this show, you're just this one right here, you're missing out. This is so hilarious, man. Oh my god. He's so fucking funny. I want to go back and watch that again. I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh my god. Oh my god.
They're pretty close together.
by the way, one of the things, because I studied leftism, that was my, I studied communist affairs, Marx, leftism, and one of the things that they have always excelled at is one-word dismissals of their ideological enemies. So Stalin called Trotsky the father of Bolshevism. He called him...
That, how he looks over at the video, he goes, like I do, I'll do it too, I'll point and I'll do shit like that. I love his interactions with the fucking video. I fucking love that. It's so fucking funny, man.
a fascist.
He does it all the
So
time.
Trotsky was a fascist. There was no need to debate Trotsky. You call him a fascist and then have him killed with an ice pick. That's in a nutshell what the left does.
But that's what you just did.
Look at what they're doing to the university. The university is now becoming a fascistic place, literally.
You're such a hypocrite, Mr. Prager. You called the left fascists and evil and the greatest threat to Western civilization. And as if that wasn't ironic enough, you also judged them for their bigotry. What about your bigotry and the fact that you judged us falsely?
I've never met somebody on the right who said the science is wrong.
Have you ever met anyone on the right? Have you met Donald Trump? Or Mike Pence? Have you met anyone in that administration? Or any of the right-wing legislators in my state? Or in any state? Have you met yourself, Mr. Prager?
So evolution is a very complex issue, believe it or not. Now, by the way, I don't have a particular axe to grind. I happen to believe in God, and my position for most of my life was, okay, God created evolution. I have no issue. But it's not my position any longer because I simply know more science. And the science on evolution is not nearly as established as people think it is. Because the paleontologists themselves are not so certain that it occurred in anywhere near the way they believe it did.
Oh my God.
I know a few paleontologists.
I was just going to say, look, this is Arn Ra's specialty. And Arn Ra is about to fucking fire up the chainsaw on this motherfucker's balls. And you guys that are here are in for a real treat. Because I have no idea what's about to happen. But I know that Arn Ra is going to take this guy's claim of science and shove it right down his fucking throat.
And what you just said is completely false. And I can list paleontologists who will say so. If this were a two-way conversation, I would call you out for a paleontologist who agrees with your statement. And if you dared name someone, I would find that person and then find out that he didn't agree with you at all.
Two quick things on that. One is, of course, it just needs to be stated that evolution has zero explanation, I mean zero, none, for the creation of life.
Because that is not evolution, that's abiogenesis, an overlapping array of different processes, and descent with inherent genetic modification obviously can't be prevalent among them.
There was no evolutionary jump between inorganic and organic. And they acknowledge that. They just say one day they'll find.
Austin Jessup, right on, buddy. Thank you for commenting, man. I hope you come to the live interview with him in 4 hours and 45 minutes right here on this channel. We're going to have Arn Ra live.
One, but there isn't one.
The origin of life was always a matter of organic chemistry, of complex carbon chains. It was never inorganic.
So the evolutionist has nothing to say about the origin of life.
Wrong again, as always. What we can say is that we know a whole lot more about it than you're aware of or would likely admit. I made a classroom supplement video to explain it to middle schoolers. You should watch that and see that we do have quite a good explanation, actually. I'll include the link below.
The second part is they don't have a lot to say even on the origin of species. When you look at, there was this thing called the Cambrian, was it the Cambrian explosion? That's it, explosion.
Yeah.
This was what.
Let me tell you something. Dennis Prager is so far out of his league right now. It's like watching Muhammad Ali fighting a fucking newborn that's just sitting there in a crib. That's the matchup here. That's the matchup.
When vast numbers of species arose, but much too quickly for evolution to have accounted for them.
You're talking about a period of about 50 million years, beginning roughly 541 million years ago, which only produced the very earliest, simplest, and most primitive representatives of 20 of the major animal phyla, where there were very few multicellular forms or fossils before that. The Cambrian was a problem in Darwin's time right up until a couple of decades ago. Since then, fossils from the Vendian period, just prior to the Cambrian, have been shown to include precursors of some Cambrian fauna. The other phyla appeared later on, and most of these species were already extinct by the end of that first period of the Paleozoic era. How's that for intelligent design? The first multicellular animals had no skeletons or organs or sensory systems of any kind. The first drafts of these began to develop apparently experimentally, trying out every direction at once. And many of these early experiments were unsuccessful because there were more phyla to emerge in that era than we have left today. And some of the earliest forms were so bizarre that we can't even make sense of them because they're so alien and incomparable to anything still around. Then, as with early designs of airplanes and automobiles, once other possibilities were explored, the more functional lines continued to diversify, while less practical derivations thinned into extinction. And a few of these basic designs that worked well enough are still out there and have since diverged into many new orders of life that did not yet exist in the Cambrian. So there is no problem for science to explain in the Cambrian explosion.
And there were so many qualified scientists who have taken this on. Even the famous Harvard paleontologist who's passed away, whose name eludes me for the moment, but he wrote about this. He was an atheist or an agnostic, but he said he had punctuated evolution, which is almost an oxymoron.
That's punctuated equilibrium. And Stephen Jay Gould wasn't talking about the Cambrian explosion, he was talking about why dramatic change was not constant. You have constant variation in forms of genetic drift, but major morphological changes are apparently driven by environmental dynamics. Thus, transitional species, like the lineage of early tetrapods, represent relatively few species that left the water to then proliferate into millions of species that were better adapted to the land, and therefore no longer appear to us to be transitional. So, you changed your mind about evolution after you learned more science? If this is all you know, and all of it is wrong, then what could you have known before?
And let me tell you something. That's the thing that drives him the most, I believe, are the people that were atheist and then went to religion. People that were based in science and fact and are now leaning towards fiction and bullshit. And this is the thing that he goes after the most. He's been doing this obviously for years.
My only point is that it's not as clear as they make now.
Yes, it certainly is. First, this from the National Center for Science Education. Evolution is a vital, well-supported, unifying principle of biological sciences, and the scientific evidence is overwhelmingly in favor of the idea that all living things share a common ancestry. Although there are legitimate debates on the patterns and processes of evolution, there is no serious scientific doubt that evolution occurred or that natural selection is a major mechanism in its occurrence. And this from the National Academy of Science. Evolution is a fact because the theory of evolution is supported by so many observations and confirming experiments that scientists are confident that the basic components of the theory will not be overturned by new evidence. Evolution really is as clear as they make it out, Mr. Prager.
Happy
So
420.
if you happen to
420, everybody.
believe
Happy
that
420.
God created the world, which I don't, because the science negates it.
Yeah.
But if you believe, and I believe that the Bible is divine and all that good stuff, but nevertheless, if you do believe that, I don't give a hoot if somebody believes God created the world in a 60, 24-hour period. I care if they reject vaccines, if they don't get blood transfusions. In other words, I don't care what people believe.
Yeah.
I care how people behave.
I care what people believe because beliefs inform actions, and only accurate information has practical application.
That is one of the most important things that we could ever ask him today, and he's answering the question right here. So listen very closely to what Arn Ross says right here. This is important. This is important.
People believe.
Yeah.
I care how people behave.
I care what people believe because beliefs inform actions.
Beliefs inform actions. Beliefs inform actions. Beliefs inform actions. See, so he cares what people believe because when you have a church group that is pushing for, to pull the teaching things like evolution out of school, it's a problem. He sees it and he knows that if you can get people to stop believing in the bullshit, then their actions will change and they'll stop trying to do dumb shit. My question to him is going to be, do you think there's any hope? Do you think we'll ever get it? Because I know he gets it, and I know I get it. And I know all of his followers get it. But, that's 250,000 people. We still have 8 billion, almost 8 billion to go. He should have 1 billion followers on fucking YouTube, but he doesn't. Why doesn't he have 1 billion followers on YouTube?
And only accurate information has practical application. Because people don't just deny medical science, they deny anthropogenic climate change too, as if there was any possibility that industrial nations are not having a cumulative negative effect on the atmosphere that can be measured and confirmed.
Truth is truth.
Yeah.
God, there's a Hebrew saying, the signature of God is truth. If something is true, I must believe it, because it's true. I am religiously obligated to believe it if it's true.
Oh my
I'm going to
God,
hold you to
so
that.
hypocritical.
We know evolution happens and has happened, and that it happened very much the way paleontologists described and that geneticists can now confirm. If I haven't changed your mind about that yet, call me. I'll prove evolution to your satisfaction and then wait for your retraction. But I've seen a few of your videos, and they're mostly demonstrably factually false. Remember this one?
No document in world history so changed the world for the better, as did the 10 Commandments.
If you haven't seen my rebuttal to your video, the link is below.
And here's a theory, so here's my theory. The human being clearly needs to believe some non-rational things. I believe that that is part of what the human mind must have.
Although I do have the odd irrational thought once in a while, it is quickly put out and replaced with a reasonable one. I do not have any need or desire to believe in irrational things, but thank you for admitting that belief in God is irrational. If you'd said so a couple of years ago, you could have saved me the trouble of having to make this video.
Many people think that faith and reason are opposites, that belief in God and tough-minded logical reasoning are like oil and water. They are wrong. Belief in God is far more rational than atheism.
No, sir, you are wrong.
How you fight the irrational is very hard. It's very hard because you can give evidence, and it doesn't convince people to have if people have a vested interest in believing something, you can't talk them out of it. And this is why I fear the left.
No, that's why I have good reason to fear the right. Because just in the last few years, right-wing Republicans have done all they can to politicize the classroom, undermining education in science, sex, and social studies, allowing teachers to promote their religion and teach uncritical thinking, while right-wing legislators tried to disable public schools altogether, with some suggesting that poor children should not even have public schools to go to, but instead should return to the workforce. Right-wing Republicans have tried to hasten overpopulation, consumption of our resources, and the destruction of the environment and endangered species, while trying to establish an American theocracy and legalize hate crimes, depriving people of their rights, discriminating on the basis of religion, sex, and sexual orientation, enabling child abuse, and excusing child molestation while justifying slavery and violating every provision of the First Amendment. You don't see this happening on the left. The most criminally immoral political insanity typically comes almost exclusively from the right.
But when people drop Judeo-Christian religions, Catholicism, Protestantism, Evangelicalism, Mormonism, Judaism, when people drop those, they don't stop yearning for religious certitude. So what they end up with is secular religious certitudes, and they are at least as scary.
This gross generalization doesn't apply to me either. I was raised Christian, and I was conditioned to accept unsupported conclusions uncritically, but even then, I didn't want or need certitude, religious or otherwise. So unlike you, I do not believe irrational things. And unlike you, I try my very best not to assert as fact things that are not evidently true, or worse, that are demonstrably false.
Driving his Jeep down the fucking road listening to this. Jamming. He's going to be here at 1 o'clock, guys. He's going to be here.
It's time to be positively rebellious.
He's going to be here in 4.5 hours. These are exciting, 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 exciting times. These are exciting times, everybody. My goodness. He's got a 250,000. He's got a 250,000 followers on YouTube. He's got, I wonder how many people they delete from him every day. You know how many people he probably should have? Here, let's go find out. Let's go to Social Blade. Social Blade might not show this anymore. Socialblade.com / no, let's just go to Social Blade. We'll type his name in and see what comes up. Social Blade, yo. Mate, going to Social Blade? Social Blade, mate? Blade, it's going to Social Blade, mate. Arnra, search for YouTube. 53.1 million video views. He's only put up 1,000. Oh, that's somebody else. He's only put up 762 videos. He's got 53 million fucking views. Oh, it's fucking crazy, man. That's such a high ratio of views on each video. 249,000 subscribers, this says. So let's see if it's going to give us a live run of his channel. It used to do that. They probably don't do that anymore. Let's see if they've been subtracting his subscribers at all. Where's the live? Yeah, they don't. Oh, live. It says live. It says live. It's weird. It's not loaded yet. Hold on, let me see what it does. It's not showing the accurate number. They don't do it. I had a feeling. I don't think they're gonna do it. Let me see. They're gonna show it live, mate. Wait. Dude. The screen is all off. It's weird. Oh, there it goes. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay, somebody go subscribe to Arn Ra. It's giving a count. It just says 249,000 at the top. That's suspect. But it's showing a live count of the time. I wonder if somebody will go subscribe to him. Somebody go subscribe to Arn Ra on YouTube. Go do it. I know you guys can do it. Somebody hasn't done it yet. So I can see what it does on the chart. I'm watching the chart. It's live. I'm watching the chart. You guys know what I mean? Know what I mean? Here, look. This right here. Rise of lights. There's the live. See the count going down here? See the count? See, when someone subscribes, this line should move. But it's like it's showing the counter, but they're not. I have a feeling one of you just went and subscribed and it's not gonna move. That's weird that it shows that still. Literally shows them hiding. I wonder if there's any way to see that they're subtracting his subscribers. Because they've got to be. They're subtracting everybody's subscribers. Huh. Not a ripple. Not so much as a ripple in the line. Have any of you gone over there and done it? Have any of you gone over there and subscribed? Just wondering to see if it's gonna show a difference. What do you think? Anyone? 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 You just did. Yeah, it didn't do anything. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's not showing. The line's not. Remember, it used to show a live shot. And it's so weird. Now they just show the clock in a flat line. And it's not going to go up until he gets to 250,000, right? So when it hits 250, I wonder if it's going to go from 250 to 249, 250 to 249, 250 to 249, 250 to 249. And that would be the only way to tell if they're still doing that shit. That'd be crazy. He might not be anywhere near that. He might not be anywhere near that flip yet, though. I don't know. Wow. It only shows 1,000 at a time. See that? It's only showing 1,000 at a time. What's this? Views. It shows by the week how many views he gets every week. He's getting over 250,000 views in a week. Here and here, got close to 250,000. It's crazy. His channel's not really getting fucked with. It's really pretty smooth, and this is just pretty smooth until right here. They're slowing him down. That's the evidence right there, guys. We found it. That's it. We got it. Look, he got fucking 2,000 subscribers in a week right there. And then all of a sudden, you didn't get 1,000, didn't get 1,000, didn't get 1,000, didn't get 1,000. Boom, hits 1,000. Didn't get 1,000, 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 didn't get 1,000. He's getting fucked with, guys. Can we click on this, make it bigger? It's all we got, but I'll show it to y'all, okay? Hold on. Look at this. Wow, guys, this is fucking crazy. Look at how they're fucking with Arns. Look how they're fucking with Arns just like they fuck with everybody. Look at this. Look, it's a week. In a week, you get 1,000. In another week period, he hit 1,000. In another week period, he hit 1,000. All of a sudden, look. Nothing. Nothing. 2 weeks, nothing. Boom, 1,000 in a week. Boom, 1,000 in a week. Look at this. Nothing. Nothing for 2 weeks. Boom, 1,000. Boom, nothing. 1,000. Boom, nothing. 1,000. Nothing. Nothing. Boom. 1,000. Nothing. 1,000. 2,000. Now he gets 2,000 viewers in a week. Right? Can't have that. We better fucking choke them back. This is how the algorithms work. When they see you're doing good, they'll start limiting your scope. And look at this. For some reason, he gets 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and then all of a sudden, what is this? What is this? 1 week, nothing. A week, nothing. A week, Nothing. A week. Nothing. A week. Nothing. And the reason it's nothing is because he's slowly getting close to 1,000. It's building, but it's taking this long. They're only going to notify you when you hit the 1,000. Boom, you hit another 1,000. Good for you. Now, how long? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Oh, it took you 7 weeks that time. You mean in 1 week you got 2,000 subscribers and now it takes you 7 weeks to get 1,000? Huh. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just fucking YouTube bullshit. And there you see it happens to Arn Raw, it happens to everybody. Should pull up mine. Mine's just, but mine's gonna be flat line. It's gonna be hilarious. There's not gonna be any triangles. Let's go. Here, let's check it out. Nays Garden. Nays Garden. Where is it? Where do you type in the name? Oh, it's up here. Nays Garden. We're sorry, but this user is not found. Select channel. Let's go with this one. Look at this. There it is. Look. Look at mine. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Hey, let's subtract 1,000. Or let's subtract 100. Hey, you lost 100 subscribers. Great. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Hey, you lost 100 subscribers. Good for you. Look at this. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Hey, goody for you, goody two shoes. You gained 100 subscribers. People actually care for you. Look at you. Very good, you. You're very good. Because I put up one video. I haven't been able to go live stream to that because I've got a copyright strike against that channel. But hey, everyone's just seeking me out to unsubscribe from my channel, I'm sure. And those are fake accounts. Total video views. I get about 3,000 video views a week average, and then boom, they start dropping. As soon as my podcasts shut off, you can see the look at this. Okay, look at this. So average, I get about 3,000. I get about 3,000 views, right? When I'm podcasting, 3,000 views a week on the big channel, and then boom, they shut me down. 496, 13, 13, 12, 20. Nobody watches my channel anymore, pal. Unreal. Unreal, pal. Nobody even does it like that. Alright, I'm gonna go. It's called algorithms. Hey, Doc, what's up? I'll see you guys at 1, okay? I'll see you in 4.5 hours right here with Arn Raw. Okay? Right here. Not 4.5 hours. I'm sorry. 3.5 hours. Hey, Ice. I'll see you in 3.5 hours right here with Arn Raw. Alright? Alright. Bye, guys. Go check out my friend Ron Placone, ronplacone.com, lucianron.com, Ron Placone at Twitter, Ron Placone on Facebook, Ron Placone at Instagram. Check out his show, Get Your News On with Ron on YouTube. It's called Ron Placone Channel. It's the Ron Placone Channel. It says Ron Placone. 20 seconds of me waving goodbye. I'm gonna go eat a bagel. I'm in a hurry. I'm in a hurry to go eat a bagel. I'm in a hurry, gonna go eat a bagel.